speaker. I'm not even sure where to start because, yeah, she has a lot. She has done a lot. When I first saw her details, I was like, wow, I was just in awe. And I think after reading what I'm going to read, everyone is just going to be left in shock because she has done a lot and she's so young. I'm gonna call her Sis Millicent. She's my sister from today on. I'm not sure if she knows, but she's definitely a sister of mine from now on. So our second speaker is Millycent Mashele. She's the founder and managing director of the Legacy Center, which is a consulting firm. She's a businesswoman and she's an education activist who believes in the power of education that allows her to the freedom to live a life of impact and value. So yeah, she's a chartered accountant. She's a CASA. Akani, could you please confirm if you can still hear me?
Okay.
Can you still hear me? I think my Wi-Fi disconnected for a bit.
Yeah, no, I can still hear you. I believe everyone can still hear you.
Okay, apologies about that. So the first thing is she's a chartered accountant, she's a CASA. And then she is a chartered global management accountant. On top of that, she's a certified internal auditor. She's a registered auditor. And then she's a tax practitioner. That's like 5 things that I've read so far. She has over 10 years experience in various managerial roles before becoming an entrepreneur. She has vast experience ranging from audit, governance, risk management, financial reporting, tax planning, tax advisory in both public and in the private sector. If you're an accounting student like myself, you know that she has basically covered everything in the accounting field. On top of that, she was one of SAICA top 35 under 35 22 finalists, which is a big thing for CAs, which was a career highlight that recognizes her impact as a young CA. I think I've said quite a mouthful about her, so I think I'm just gonna give it over to her speaking out. But yeah, she's definitely a powerhouse. So Sis Millicent, the stage is yours.
Thank you. I'm not sure if you can hear me. I'm trying to share my slides. Can you hear me?
I can hear you and I can see your slides.
Okay, I'm a teacher, so there's another part of me that, you know, when you're a teacher, you always have slides. So I guess I have slides for that note. But otherwise, thank you for welcoming me and thank you for the welcome. And thank you to my mentor for really making this day possible. Harold is my mentor. Yes, he also says I'm his mentor. I don't know, but he's my mentor. So thank you so much for that. Every time they introduce me, I'm like, what is this? Is this me? Okay, I guess. But otherwise, let's get to the business of today. I'm going to speak much on entrepreneurship. But otherwise, before I do that, I will just want to say my story, which is me owning my narrative. If you were to ask me who is Millicent, I would say she's a village girl. I'll say she's a businesswoman. I'll tell you she's an education activist. So why these things? So I'm a village girl. I'm born in the same village as Harold in Mpumalanga. So yeah, Anjimkot is well represented. But a village girl to me means that there's always this girl that I'm representing. And that girl is Millicent. When I was born in Anjimkot, no one had a dream of what I will achieve. So that village girl is actually making magic. That village girl is able to sit with the president if she wants to. So the village girl is my anchor to say that we haven't done it. We have a village girl that has to do it. So if it has to be done by me, it has to be done by me. So I have an anchor and I always keep a village with myself. So that village girl is actually surrounded. I don't come alone, I come with a village. You can imagine if I have a big challenge, I just tell that challenge, hey, when I don't come alone, I come with a village. So that's why the village girl. And then the education activist, I think with all humility, I actually was blessed with education. I'm one of the educated people. So it's a blessing. a blessing I actually embrace to also teach others. So part of me is teaching, part of me is knowledge sharing. And then the businesswoman, I'm an entrepreneur. I don't know how that came about, but yeah, I run an accounting firm, I run a consulting firm. I'm actually about to start another initiative. So I definitely want to represent women, because we always complain, and women, we can nag, ne? Guys, women are not only nagging in relationships, but we also nag in reality. No, we are not empowered. No, we're not in business. So I actually said, you know what? I don't want to nag. I want to do it. So I actually chose to do business. That is my narrative. That is Millycent. But today I want to ask you a question. And I want everyone to type in the comment section, what would you do if you were not afraid? Just in case. If you were to sleep and think about this question, and you say, if I was not scared, I would be president. If I was not scared, I would actually own a helicopter. If I was not scared, I was gonna fight poverty. If I was not scared, that big thing that you think you can do if you are not scared. I want everybody to write on the comment section, and really we'll reflect on it after. So it's a very question that pushed me to start business. It's a very question that when I finished as an accountant, I qualified in 2014. After qualifying, I said, what can I do if I'm not scared? And if you were to know my history about my career, I was told I'm incompetent. I was a village girl without proper English. There was a lot of self-doubt and a lot of low self-esteem. But then when I asked myself this question, I then started the journey of saying, then we should do it. If you don't have confidence, you must go deal with your confidence. You have no excuse. If you feel like you don't know English, just deal with whatever English word you have. So I want to challenge you that you must ask yourself and deal with it. Okay, let me close here so we can all see that this person you see is unique. Everyone is wearing a suit. Everyone looks generic. It all starts with us. It all starts with you. You don't have to be the same as other people. So you need, if you are doing engineering, you are not a generic engineer. You are not following the path of an engineer. You're following your path. Engineering is your anchor. Engineering is your pillar. Engineering is just something that supports you. But otherwise, your passions, your strengths, your capabilities are representing you. Your fears, your pain, and your rejection. Yes, we get rejected so many times. That rejection could be a redirection to something great. You need to question that. Your goals, your aspirations, you cannot do anything and anything in life if you don't have goals. So homework number 2 is actually, okay, homework number 1 is what would you do if you're not afraid? We put it on the comments. Homework number 2 is, what is it that I want to achieve in life? What's my goal as a person? Let's forget engineering. Let's forget CA. Let's forget account, what? I don't know what people are doing, yes, BEd or anything else. So in career, you need to ask yourself, what is that big goal? My goal, if I were to share with you, I want to be a knowledge hub that is used by God to impact people and organizations for better. So it means I want to be this knowledge source. Every time about me, it's knowledge. So why do I study every time? Why do I have so many titles? Because this source, this knowledge hub, has to be filled with knowledge so that it can give out knowledge. So you see that my goal is actually aligned to what I do. And then my knowledge and my skills and my experience has shaped me to become who I am. So you need to understand, you need to tell yourself you're smart. I want to see you. Do you know that getting to UCT represents a young person who is smart? It's a fact. You don't have to be shy about it. You don't have to be, humility. There's this humility that we have. You are smart. So you need to know that you're smart. I want to vet. back in 2003, yes, 2004, me and my mentor were in similar times, but we used to pass each other. Ne? We only connected later in life, but he inspired me to be a CA. Let me tell you, my mentor, you are one of the inspirations that I actually said I want to be a CA. So you have to know the fact that you are smart. Life will tell you. You will meet managers. You will meet crazy people. People have disorders out there. Some of them, they really just going through the most, and then they actually can tell you, no, a person like you was an engineer. You can't even produce this report. And then those things have a way of coming into your mind and making you feel like you are nothing. Always remind yourself, I'm a smart girl. I made it to UCT. I'm a smart girl. I'm a smart boy. I made it to whatever and whatever. So remember your knowledge, your skills, and your capabilities. Do a personal SWOT analysis, and you make sure that that SWOT analysis represents. I'm one of those people who are so disorganized. It's not even funny. And because I know I'm disorganized, I actually have to work on it and make sure that I manage it. So when someone tells me about my weakness, I already know. So it's not something that comes out as a surprise and comes out to haunt me. I already know. I also know that my confidence sometimes runs out of me. So that I need to manage my confidence. So it's actually very important to do that. Okay, I talk too much. Let me rush. Why entrepreneurship? Why entrepreneurship? You do entrepreneurship to solve problems. In South Africa, there is so much problems. Everywhere you look, there is problems. So it means you need to actually be that person who says, I can solve a problem. So what problems do we think we have in South Africa? If you were to ask me where the unemployment problem, so maybe in the comment chat, you can actually share with what problem do you think we have? Bigger problems, we have economic problems. We have family problems where we actually have families that are very poor. So you do it for yourself first. As an entrepreneur, you need to do it for yourself. I call myself out to the greater Millycent every day. I'm not competing with everybody. This is my mission, is my purpose. I'm alive. I'm born alone. God has put me in this world for myself. So I call myself every day out to become greater. So you do it for yourself. If entrepreneurship will take that thing out for you, you do it. And we do it in different platforms. Others do it in corporate. I chose to do it in entrepreneurial journey. You do it for your family. So you guys are going to be parents. Life is fair. Eh? Don't worry, you're not parents yet, but life is fair. You're gonna do the recreation and the creative elements of life, and then you're gonna be parents. Also, you're from families. You also want to do it for your family. You want to prove that your family lineage can actually do something to solve the problem. You do it for your community. Like myself, I do it for women. A women community. I always say women, and it's not a lot of women in business, but without me saying, yo, there's no women in business, I raise my hand and like, I'll do it. And I can tell you it's not nice. Some days I feel like giving up, but I'm not giving up because I know why I'm doing it. You do it for the profession. So if you're an engineer, if you're an accountant, the profession needs entrepreneurs, needs solutions. So why not do it for that? Do it for the world we live in. We have problems. Everywhere you look, there's problems. Do it for your legacy. Yes, my business is called the Legacy Center because I believe that every time we live, we're living our legacy and we're living it today, not when we die. So you're actually creating a legacy for your family and that. So I hope you actually know now that you can do it for yourself. But what does entrepreneurs do, or innovative entrepreneurs? You know, almost in South Africa, we have entrepreneurs who are tenderpreneurs. Sorry if you know such. But entrepreneurship in South Africa, I still get asked every time I tell people what I do. I always choose to say I'm an entrepreneur when I'm asked what I do. When I want to feel important, I say I'm a CA. so when I know, you know what, here, I want to be, thank God for education. That's why I'm an education activist. So I say I'm a CA, but otherwise I choose and always choose to say I'm an entrepreneur because I love the profession. It is a profession. Entrepreneurs are actually people who chose to do something in this profession of entrepreneurship. If we were at Silicon Valley in America, where the Mark Zuckerberg of this world come from, it would be something of honor. But in South Africa, it's not. I still get asked a question when I say I'm an entrepreneur. Oh, okay. Do chartered accountants also struggle to find jobs? Because people think I actually chose to be an entrepreneur because I don't find a job. So people still feel and associate entrepreneurship as survivalist, as a way of hustling. Yes, we also use the word hustle, panda, pusher, and all that, which are good words. But otherwise, we need to understand that entrepreneurship is an innovative journey that we need. It's actually a creation of employment. So we need to make sure that we have innovative entrepreneurs with ethics and belief systems. I have my own belief system as an entrepreneur. My business does not do certain things. Even if you can say, no, this is a nice opportunity to quickly do it, I'm building an organic business. So I have a belief system that is attached to my business model. And then you need to have a heart for people. You can't just do entrepreneurship for profits. Yes, entrepreneurship makes profits because it has to solve a problem. And to solve a problem, we need money. But at the core of it, it's about people. You are solving a problem for a person, and you are employing people, and you are working with people. And we need entrepreneurs that are so full of humility. You can imagine if today I get a tender and the tender is 50 million, the first thing I will buy, it's a Lamborghini. And then I will make sure I go to Engine Court and they all know that I have a successful business. All good and well, but we need to have humility, and we need to build our entrepreneurial journey around humility, because then we focus on growth. We don't focus on things and material. I always say, you rather own a fleet of buses than own a Lamborghini, which at some point you can reward yourself, but why not generate assets that are actually going to bring in more money and more value? Vision and mission and values. You need to define your vision and mission, and it must be clear. Culture, strategy, and goals. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. My mentor told me, culture eats strategy for breakfast. You can have the best strategy in the world, but if your culture is that of laziness, procrastination, government does not give us money, no, then your strategy will not happen. So you need to bring in innovative solutions. Don't worry, my slides are very short, so we are getting them. Then what does a thriving entrepreneur get into? A thriving entrepreneur has a community. You keep a community if you want to be an entrepreneur. Remember, entrepreneurship is one job where you don't have a boss. It's one job where you didn't fill an application form. You actually didn't apply. So it means you need to be very much around an accountability cycle where you actually can find accountability. You need to keep a professional cycles where you can actually ask, you can actually call that friend, but I'm actually dealing with this. How do we deal with it within your profession? You need to have mentors and coaches. Okay, I think someone was unmuted. You need to have family and friends that support you, that prays for you, that says, you go girl. Yes, Nsuku is here, my cousin is here. So and you need to have people that are actually saying, we cheer for you, because the journey is not as easy. So when you actually get tired, you need some motivation, you need some crying on, you need some inspiration. You need to have a community engagement with people. You need to have people like wisdom tanks. My mentor is my wisdom tank. He doesn't know. I actually have people that I call my wisdom tanks. When I go home, I make sure I have 100 rands and 200 rands, and then I go and sit with them. These old people that have been inspectors, that have been principals, I sit with them and listen to them and just listen to their wisdom. Don't undermine the value of experience and the value of age, because you will learn a lot from that. I spend a lot of my time, especially when I'm back at home, with older people, because they help me. They give me wisdom, Jay, just generic wisdom, how to deal with people, how to deal with things, how to deal with relationships. So it makes a thriving entrepreneur. Okay? Action speaks louder than words. We can all have the best of the best of the visions, the best and the best of the ideas. It all takes starting up. You can start small. I always say, what are those hanging fruits? When you go to a mango tree, you don't go up and take a mango. You actually start with the mangoes at the bottom. So you need to look at, in my business model, what is my low hanging fruits? Let me tell you, when I started as a tax practitioner. I was doing tax clearance. I don't like those things, but I had to do them because they were my low hanging fruits. At this point, I don't do tax clearance. I actually do reports. I do analysis and. I knew I'm gonna get to that, but today we need to do a tax clearance, unfortunately. So time will allow you growth. Your mindset, you must guard your mindset with all that you can. Don't go to an environment that will influence you otherwise. You need to manage your environment. When I started my business, I stopped seeing my friends were in corporate for a while because I didn't want to feel like I'm leaving a job that was paying me, that they have bonuses. So I had to protect myself from such and be in an environment of entrepreneurs and understand that. And then manage distractions, greed, people, and yourself. How many of us self-sabotage? We tell ourselves, not me. No, I don't think I'm able to do that. Hey, you have to think at a Batu level if you want to be an entrepreneur, but you start small. You have to think big. So don't keep on a small business mindset. You need to be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs solve problems. Imagine educated entrepreneurs like you thinking small. You guys are at UCT. You cannot afford to think small. You need to think big. Then you start small. But big thinking is very important. Okay. When all is said and done, the journey is not easy. You will cry. You will be rejected. You will be disappointed. There will be so many other things in family. This year, I experienced a bit of loss. So those things doesn't mean you need to stop. You need to have patience. You need to have perseverance. You need to persist. You need to be consistent. You need to take failure as a stepping stone. You have to approach fear. Mina, when there is fear in me, I'm going for that thing. It means I need to go for that thing. I do it scared. Courage, you must be bold, you must be brave, you must be self-motivated, and you need to know how to handle crises. On a given day, I'm called, no, we don't have the keys for the office. Okay, what's happening with the keys? Quickly, I need to manage the keys now. I was not managing the keys, but now I need to manage the keys. So you need to manage yourself, your emotions. I see a therapist at least every second month or every third month. I have a special therapist that I just want to talk. So you need to manage your emotions. Sometimes a therapist is your friend, talk to somebody. Yeah, bo. How many of us would love to drink this Coke? But otherwise, when we buy a Coke, we don't ask who's the founder of the Coke, right? We don't ask whether the person is a Black person. We don't even know. So even your products, if you actually an entrepreneur who's creating great products, people won't ask to buy from you. You want to use a Black tag, people will buy because that's a product that is solving their problems, that's quenching their thirst. So whenever you want to be an entrepreneur, think of products that doesn't really need you, but it's solving a problem. So we need to make sure that we set goals and we see our goals visible. I will leave you with this quote that I have. it says education is not meant to dictate what we do in life. We're not dictated that you're an engineer, you must do engineering, but it's meant to help you choose what you want to do. And when you do what you're doing, you do it with excellence, you do it with wisdom, you do it with intellect, and you do it so well. So you need to make sure that you do something that is about your personality. Okay, this is my last slide. I call it Milly's success framework. Yay, you know what? I can be a doctor. Came up with a framework. But the framework is really saying, as a person, you are creating value. So there's a value proposition that you are always creating as a person in career, in everything. You need to make sure you come up with a culture, a positive culture for yourself. You need to define it. Be clear that I'm of excellence. Where you see me, you see excellence. Where you see me, you see hard work. Where you see me, you see education. I've created that culture. And then I come up with a strategy. One of my strategies that I study every year. I'm writing an exam on Wednesday. Every year I study. It's my strategy to actually live my culture. I came with it, and it doesn't have to be the same for every one of us. So I came with that strategy. And then one of my strategies is business. I use business as a strategy to actually become a speaker, to actually become of an impact as a person, to become a knowledge source. I one day want to speak at the World UN and discussing women issues, but I have to start here and speak at UCT. And then you come up with vision. Be clear with your vision. Please write your vision down. That's homework number 3. Write your vision down. Write your goals. Be very specific. There was a point I wrote, I want to be part of the SAICA top 35 finalists in 2016. Guess what? I became one. I don't know how, but I did. So sometimes these things has a way of working out, and they listen, you get what you want in life. And then have a mission statement. I told you my mission statement, I'm a knowledge hub used by God to impact people. And then these things are pillars that you use: skills, resources, people. They keep you in check. You need skills to live this. And then you need to communicate your value. In closing, don't be shy to communicate your value. You are not generic. You know those product at Woolies that they call generic? You are not generic. You are unique. You need to communicate to the world. If you are shy, please go take confidence courses. Volunteer to speak at church. Volunteer to speak at a birthday party of a 1-year-old. Build confidence, because people don't know you. You need to say it. You need to tell them. You need to present yourself. You need to communicate your value as a career person and as an entrepreneur. But yeah, that's my framework. I think I deserve to be a doctor here. Anyway, that was me. Thank you so much for the conversation and the invite. Over to you, Felicia.
Thank you so much for that. I have written a lot down. I think I have 2 pages from just today. And I think we should definitely give her a virtual round of applause, because wow, that was insightful. And there's someone in the chat room asking if it's possible for you to share the slides. I don't know if it's possible to share them on the chat room or yeah. So
I will have to email them to you, and then I will have to email it to you, and you will share with them because they are big. They are big. So
okay.
just quickly, 1 minute, I want to read one of the things that people wrote. I forgot to do that. People will stop procrastination. What else? Let me see. What would you do if you were not scared? So, okay, no one was writing here. Okay, I'll stop procrastination. I'll own a bank. That bank, we need it. We need the bank. I'll change the SA education. You need to change the curriculums, and you can start now, because you can start building on a curriculum. You don't need to wait until you finish. We need new curriculums in South Africa. We cannot teach our children what we're teaching them. Okay, I will teach and become a business person. Welcome, join the club. I'm a teacher as well. I'd follow through on my PSS. I don't know that. Break records, go for it. But